Hello everybody. I apologize that I wasn't able to put out a video yesterday. I was feeling really lazy and really fatigued. So y'all didn't really get one, but here today, I don't really know what to name this video yet, but by the time you're watching this, there's already a title and a thumbnail. But yeah, let me just go ahead and further say that I don't condone the use of any substances, legal or illegal, and this video is kind of just for entertainment purposes only. So now that I covered my ass, let's get right into it. So yeah, on this day, I'm being serious. This story takes place literally no more than 2 weeks ago, and what makes this story really stupid is the fact that it takes place in school, right? So in the morning, I was kind of just doing, my normal shit. I was getting up, getting ready, getting showered because I ain't gonna show up to school as no stank ass, putting on eyeliner. I know, real fucking gay because I'm a dude. But, yeah. So, the eyeliner is just for style, it makes my eyes pop out better. I'm gonna stop sounding like a fucking, whatever. Let me get back on track, alright? I remember, I had a strip of LSD tabs, and I was contemplating should I bring these or no? Because me and Chris had this plan going around where I was gonna have one from the strip that I had, and I was gonna give one to him, and I was gonna give it to him at school. But the thing is he wasn't supposed to drop it in school. He was supposed to drop it at home when he's all good and he's gonna be chilling. But no. This fucking dumbass puts it on his tongue as soon as I fucking give it to him. Maybe I should get to that a little bit later. I'm kind of, jumping the gun right here. But so, after contemplation of thinking, should I bring this? Should I not bring this? Should I bring this a different day? Should I just save it for myself? I decide, you know what? I'm gonna fucking bring this shit and hook my boy Chris up. So, I take it, I bring it with me, I get to school, I see fucking Chris locked into his phone, fucking sucked into that shit, and I tell him, I give it to him, he fucking opens the pack, takes the gel tab out, puts it on his tongue, and I just look at him, cause as soon as you do that, it's immediately gonna start dissolving, so that means there's no going back. As a lot of you who, well, if anybody's even fucking watching this, because, I'm kind of small on the videos, but, if any of you do acid, that, so far with, what I'm saying, this isn't really looking too good for Chris, but, yeah. This story is only going to proceed to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So, Chris pops that bitch, it starts dissolving. By the time the bell rang for us to go to first period, it was, pretty much almost completely dissolved, or, already completely dissolved. I've said this before, but, yeah, literally no going back for this guy. Also, something I didn't mention is, a couple days before this, when I bought this strip, the guy who I bought it from, he decided to, bless me, and he also gave me some gummies. So that was cool, which, hold on to this piece of information, because this will be very important later on in the story. You probably already know it's gonna happen. But yeah, so we go into PE, and we're kind of just doing what we're supposed to do, which was playing soccer. And by that, I mean we were just, sitting on one side of the goal and fucking talking while everybody else takes the game way too seriously. Our fucking PE teacher probably didn't even care. He was probably just, staring at the girls' team, because this guy celebrates the teams from boys and girls, because, I don't know, he's just weird like that. Maybe he's sexist. I'm getting a little bit off track. I remember PE, kind of starts to end, I guess, and we're, about to wrap things up. So Chris looks at me and he's like, yo, Jackson, I think I'm starting to feel something. So I'm just like, yo, what's up? And he was like, dude, I feel like I'm, disconnecting from reality. And me being, kind of experienced with that, I'm, thinking in my head, oh, shit. Bro, that sounds accurate. Bro is about to fucking leave, because these gel tabs, they're fucking strong. These fuckers punch really hard. That's why I think the reason that he was doing this in school was really, really stupid, is because, part of it is just because of how fucking, immensely powerful they are. But like I said, the story does indeed get worse, because, like I said, that one time when I was buying acid with my friend Jonathan, the guy I bought it from actually decided to be a real G and bless me, and he actually gave me like a free pack of gummies, you know, those like edible like green sour apple peach rings. Yeah, those fuckers are pretty good. So Chris knows that I have these, and he looks at me and he's like, yo bro, can I have one? And I'm kind of just like thinking, and I say to him, I'm like, yo dude, those gel tabs are so fucking strong. You popped one in school and now you want a fucking edible. And he was like, trust me bro, I can handle it. And something I did not say throughout this whole video, this was his first time ever doing acid. He doesn't know anything at all about acid. Like, he is a fucking beginner and he already thinks that he can handle this shit. I don't know why, but like, I was trying to tell him that like this stuff is like kind of different, and it's kind of like a trust me bro thing. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna pop this tab and it's gonna get me high for a couple hours. Like, that shit like picks you up and then fucking chucks you into the depths of visuals, looping thoughts, and like a little bit of feeling like you're going insane. So I'm trying to like say to Chris, like, yo bro, I don't think this is a good idea. How about this? I'll give you one tomorrow. And I opened the pack and then I ate one. And he's like, come on bro, please, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm like, no dude, it's not really, because that guy I bought this from has fucking sheets of that shit, and he has even more fucking gummies. We can literally do this any other time that we have money. And he's like, come on bro, please. So I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, I'm gonna give this to you. If anything bad happens, it's your fault. And then he was like, okay, I agree. And now this is stupid. Giving a guy fucking a strong edible after he's already had a strong tab of acid is like genuinely like a stupid idea. I would not recommend that. I wouldn't even really, you know, recommend the use of any of these to anybody. You know, I'm just gotta cover my ass real quick. But like I was saying, so you know, my buddy, Chris, I gave him this gummy. He eats it, and dude, I was in my English class. I call him Mr. Alf. I just remembered I call him Mr. Alf. We were watching like this shitty movie. It was like where Robin Williams was an actor, and like he had to play this like shitty robot, and it was a really shitty movie. There were some weird ass sex scenes. I didn't like it, but Chris was texting me and he said like, bro, it's happening. And I was like, what's happening? He was like, the visuals, like the letters are moving. And I was just like, oh shit, you know, he's like finally getting, you know, the visuals. Cause like the visuals isn't like the main point of acid, but it's kind of like what unites everybody. Cause everybody says, you know, visuals, that's like the most iconic part, at least in my opinion. I want to say about a couple periods goes by and I'm texting Chris. You know, I'm kind of just trying my best to like trip sit him, even though me and him only have one class together, and that's first period, which is already like long gone. I find out that this dude has a fucking group project in almost every single class, and he's tweaking his dick off because after this Eddie kicked in, apparently he was fucking nodding off in class. Yeah, I didn't even know that, like, you can do that on acid, because acid usually keeps you awake. This dude was fucking nodding off on class, which I think was because of the Eddie, because, that shit has a lot of indica in it. Apparently, like, some kids were fucking with him, saying that he was gonna die. Apparently, some kids, like, he didn't even fucking tell them, but, like, they just knew. They were like, yep, he's on acid. And, like, his pupils weren't even that dilated, like, he showed me, because we met up one point, like, after class, because we were in the same, like, chunk of classrooms, if you will, because, out here in California, some of our schools are outdoors, like, a lot of the high schools are outdoors, so, yeah. But, yeah, you know, to be honest, with how, like, stupid of an idea it is, like, just the mixed pot of bullshit, where it's at school, it's a fucking strong-ass gel tab of acid and a fucking strong-ass fucking edible all at the same time. That's, like, really stupid. But surprisingly enough, Chris actually handled it like a fucking man. Like, he fucking took that shit and, like, he didn't really necessarily have, like, a bad trip. He just had, like, you know, it could have been better. You know, he said there were some fun parts, there were some bad parts, but then other than that, it was overall pretty good. And he even told me that, like, at the end of that experience, he, like, declared that acid was his favorite drug, which, honestly, I agree with that. That's my take, too, you know? But yeah, so, I don't recommend you guys try to recreate any of the acts I discussed in this video. You know, obviously this kind of stuff is not really exactly the wisest, you know, shit that you could be doing. But entertainment purposes only, whatever. This story was pretty funny, I enjoyed telling it. The time I'm making this video is actually New Year's Eve, so if you're watching this, happy New Year's Eve. It's gonna be 2026, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it off here, and I'll see y'all in the next story time, or commentary, well, whatever I decide to do. All right, yeah, that's it.